Hi, everyone. It's Murray Voth here from RPM Training, discussing virtual training versus live in person training. As the pandemic seems to be shifting, possibly waning, many people are getting back into live training. And I've been asked whether I'm going to go back to live training or not. And so I'd like to discuss some of the pros and cons of what I call live in person virtual training. The only difference is that we're not physically in the same room. What I've discovered over the course of the last several years, I was using digital platforms like this prior to the pandemic. What I have discovered is that one of the most important things to make it the most effective and pleasurable for the attendees or the students is really good technology. Everyone should have a really good internet connection, modern, up-to-date computer. Hopefully, it's had all of its updates. The platform that you're using should all be updated, along with a good webcam, a good microphone, and a good headset. Again, most modern laptops have very good cameras built into them. That helps a lot to have all of those tools in place. Secondly, the presenter needs to have a nice background, calm, nothing too busy, and using a green screen. Having a green screen prevents that shimmer around your head when you're presenting, which does bother some people's eyes and some people's brains. And it also gives you the reality of you can actually see my hands, or if I want to demonstrate something, the green screen makes it back to three-dimensional. Some things that people think that they can do because it's virtual, they now think that other people can sit in, or maybe they don't have good boundaries at home or in their workplace. I do know that it's challenging when you're working from home and you have children. Um, I really empathize with parents with young children. That would be tough. But if we were to um, just talk about in general, if you were in a live training session in a hotel meeting room, for example, your spouse or your older children or your aunt or your uncle or your mom or your dad wouldn't just walk in and talk to you in the middle of a meeting. Same thing with coworkers. If you were in a training session in a hotel training room, coworkers wouldn't just walk in, barge in, and ask you a question about something that's going on in the business. So having good boundaries really helps it a lot. Be present in the moment, in the course. Thirdly, just because you are virtual or online doesn't mean that you can or should multitask. Telephones should be off, keyboards should be put away, papers should be put away. In fact, people clicking their pens, shuffling papers by the microphone can be a very, very big distraction for the rest of the students. So again, you wouldn't be on your phone, you wouldn't be making a sale or creating a spreadsheet while you were in a live training session. You would be paying attention to the instructor, and you would be interacting with the rest of the people in the class. The other part is if you have a very quiet place to meet, you don't have to be muted, and the reaction time between each other in the course and between the instructor and the students is much quicker, and you have a much better experience. Of course, this leads us to the cons, why it's not as effective, and that is one of them. Slow reaction times, people muted, forgetting to unmute can be frustrating. Um, the other part is in a live setting in person, we pick up the body language, the visual cues, the eye movements much easier. Of course, there is that emotional and social connection that happens in that place that people are missing and really would like to go back to. And I would say live in-person training is very effective uh, for many people. The other thing that comes into play is learning styles. Some people are more visual, some people are more auditory, and some people learn a lot by discussion and by interaction. And again, some people learn better in a social context. And in reality, human brains do a really good job of interacting with other people, even subconsciously, in a live context. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of effectiveness with both scenarios. In terms of cost, online virtual like this saves you travel time, sitting in traffic. So it can save you costs that way, or even longer distances or flights. When you're using this modality to train with a large group of people, it's not as effective. Live in person, if you have a group, is better. I've actually had the privilege of doing a couple of classes with myself on a screen and several dozen people in a meeting room with me teaching, and that was challenging. I could see that I could lose the room easily because I can't always pay attention to what everybody is doing. Having said that, back to the digital, virtual, online, in person, having small classes, I limit mine to a maximum of 12. I use a dual screen system as an instructor, so I think that would be another piece back to the technology comment that really makes it easy so I can see all my students' faces and then I can also see my material that I'm sharing with them. Fairly large screen, I can see the 12 faces easily. I can see facial reactions, hand movements, questions and discussions that we can have. Of course, there's technology for using breakout sessions and things like that. But I find that if we overly use the tech of the different platforms, I think it detracts from the learning environment. Having the chat there, having the hand signals and things like that, I personally, as an instructor, find very distracting. And when I take a course, I have found instructors get bogged down in the chat and totally lose the room that is on the video in front of them. So again, it would be like me as an instructor in a live training session in a hotel meeting room, responding to questions in the room on my phone via text, as opposed to looking up and paying attention and dealing with the questions that come to me there. So we limit the chat use just for students to chat with each other about sharing a document or a link or a question that way. And it seems to be working extremely, extremely well. So cost effectiveness, I'm going to say probably 90% effective, listing all the good ways and the good practices of doing this. I get a lot of positive feedback from my clients, and they say usually by the first or second session, they said, I just learned the thing that will pay for this course. And we move on from there. And the other last piece that I sort of brushed in passing at the beginning was the idea that, I only pay one fee and have all kinds of multiple students sign up. And at the end of the day, that is a poor business model because that's an abuse of the content, the instructor's time, and the value to the rest of the students. So say, for example, if I have 10 people that paid full price for a seat, and then I had 2 people that paid full price and added 3 people to the same link, now they're getting triple the value for the same price as the other individuals. They get more questions, they get more discussion time. And so again, in a live meeting session, you wouldn't pay one for one seat and then bring 3 people in for free. That just wouldn't fly. For cost effectiveness, for those of you that do this business, like I do as a business, we've had to reduce our class sizes for effective training, which means that our profitability goes down because we don't have as many people as we do in a hotel training room. And so we do need to have it paid per seat. And again, it's been very effective. The value in my training is there. People always say that they were able to pay for the course within the first couple classes of the training session. So on that note, I'd love your feedback on how your experience is going, including my students and my clients, how you are enjoying the online, the experience. Having said that, as I get older, travel was getting tougher and more challenging. And from a personal note, I am physically enjoying not having jet lag, and my family is enjoying having me home more often in the evening. So there are some personal benefits as well. Just a quick note on coaching in this kind of a modality. Some people like the group coaching session, which I think is valuable. Again, back to the brains interacting, the discussion, the emotional intelligence, the seeing of the eyes and the body language is very effective. But what we have found is taking the sessions from group to individual and then being able to share screens with each other, taking a look at income statements or apps or documents or HR issues and sharing screens with each other. I have found all of my coaching clients have ramped up their implementation significantly faster using this platform, even though it may not be their favorite. So my hope is down the road to probably offer the odd live session every once in a while, maybe in a conference style, just so that I can get that social and community hit that we as human beings all need. On that note, have a great day and a great week, and I hope to see you in some of my training soon.